What's up? I'm Natasha. I am a mom of four, a certified life transformation hormone weight loss coach. I'm also the founder and owner, creator of Adora, the brand Adora. And a lot of you guys don't know this, but I started Adora, my company, which is now an international company. I started it from my home with 3 kids under 3, no business experience. I had a nursing background. And I'll get into all the details today, but this is just like the highlights of it, okay? And so I'll share with you kind of how I started the company, and it was a beauty brand. And then in 2019, my husband passed away from cancer, colorectal cancer. He was just 37. I was 33 years old, 4 kids under, oh my gosh, they were under 8, 4 kids under 8 years old. We go into a global pandemic, you guys, okay? This is all happening at once. And so I pivot our company and I aligned it way more with what I was truly passionate about, which is wellness, mindset, transformation. Went back to school and, started social media for the first time ever. So back in 2015, I believe it was, I used to be an RN. I worked in internal medicine and, living the dream. I had an amazing husband at the time, and we decided we wanted to have kids. So we wanted to get them all out all at once. So I had we had 4 kids in 5 years. But when we had 3 kids, so there were 3 under 3, I really felt like I wanted to start a business. Well, we both wanted to start a business. He was an engineer at the time, and I was, doing the stay-home mom thing. We didn't have any help at home. I didn't have like a nanny or housekeeper or anything like that. It was just, I was doing what a lot of moms do, which, you're doing dishes, laundry, cooking, serving your family, and nursing, diaper changes. Like, that was my life for a while. But I really, really wanted to start a company. So I started learning about online business and just like the online world. I could see that we were heading in that direction where people were going to be purchasing online and stuff. This was like, 2014 time, around 2014. So not a lot of people were shopping on Amazon yet, or there was no like Shopify or anything like that. And I remember, and I was just I'd be in the kitchen and I'd be doing dishes. I felt like that's all I was doing was dishes and laundry. And I'd have my earphones in and I would just listen to podcasts of stories of like people that started their company from scratch, because I had no business background. I was a nurse, and I was a nurse, and then I did some pre-med, and that was it. So I had no business background, no marketing background, nothing like that. And but I would just listen to these stories. So I started learning about business, learning about the online world, learning about marketing, all that stuff. And then it started out this is so funny, because it's so funny. You see people in their success. Like, if you look at my brand now, it's like it's very successful online, but you don't see people's failures, right? People don't really talk about their failures. So it didn't actually even start off as Adora. It started off with another brand. It was called Die Hard Nails. And it was because I could not afford to get my nails done back then, okay? This is real talk, you guys. Like, we were newlyweds. My husband at the time, he was working 12 hours a day. Even though he was an engineer, he was fresh out of school, so he was like a newbie, we're just getting by. We just had the basics. And I remember being so frustrated as a wife because I hated being on a budget. Like, every time we went to the grocery store, it was like I could only get certain food. Everything in our house was given to us. It was secondhand, all that stuff. Like, it was a struggle. And I know a lot of people can relate to that when you're first starting out, right? So I remember thinking, like, I just want a company so I can help pay for some bills. Right? And then my husband at the time, he wanted an online business because he wanted a business because he was so tired working as an engineer 12 hours a day. So, typical immigrant, like we both came from immigrant families where it's like you become a doctor, an engineer, an accountant, right? You don't become a stay-home mom, you become an engineer, all that stuff. So we did that. But we were tired and we wanted to be around our family. So anyway, we didn't tell anybody this because like our family would have freaked out at us, especially he was an engineer, right? And we decided we're gonna start this business. And I was doing research, and I couldn't afford to do my nails back then, okay? So I was like, I bet women will start doing their nails at home, like gel nail polish at home. So I started that company. It was called Die Hard Nails. And it did okay. It was doing okay. We were selling the products online, and so women could start doing their own gel nail polish. And then I discovered something called Fiber Lash Mascara, and I was like, this is amazing, because it helps make your eyelashes super long and thick, but without lash extensions or falsies. So then we started a different brand called Adora, MIA Adora. And that did very well. It took off, and he was able to quit his job, and that's how we launched Me Adora. That became our main focus. So Me Adora was like makeup products. We had like other beauty products, and it was doing good. Then in I think it was 2017. I can't even remember off the top of my head. My husband gets diagnosed with colorectal cancer. Okay, so at this time we had 4 kids. My daughter was now born, so I had 3 boys and a girl. We were doing well with our business. It was doing really good. I wasn't on social media or anything like that. Social media wasn't even that popular back then. And then anyway, he gets diagnosed with colorectal cancer. So it was such a blow to us, as you can imagine. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So, we just kind of go into survival mode. He's still taking care of our company, and I'm being a wife and a mom. He's going through chemotherapy, surgeries, all this stuff. He's still running our company, Me Adora, and I am, being a wife. Like, my focus is being a wife and a mom, taking care of our kids because we're so little. Our daughter at the time was only 1 years old. Yeah. So, and then our oldest would have been around 6 or 7 then. So he's going through cancer treatments, but like still running our company. I'm cooking, cleaning. This is when I became vegan, you guys. So, because he was, we tried all these different diets too. So we tried like a keto diet for him, but he was just losing too much weight. And because of the treatments he was going through, he needed to keep meat on his body. Otherwise he would just get too skinny. And it was like, and if he went down, it's so, it's so weird. I actually forgot all about this, but now I'm talking to you guys. This is the first time I'm sharing this story publicly, by the way. But it's interesting because some of these things are starting to come back to me now. This is 3 years later. That's why I've done a lot of healing. That's why I can talk about this without like crying. That's, it's part of my healing journey too. But anyway, so he was on a keto diet, and but that didn't work really well for him because he was losing too much weight. And so if he lost too much weight, he couldn't get his treatments or surgery. So we had to make sure that his weight was up. Anyway, and then I became like raw vegan at that time because I was trying to be super healthy. So I wasn't eating any meat or anything like that. Anyway, then fast forward to, so for about a couple years, that's what we were doing. And he was actually doing really good. He was responding well. He was doing really good. We didn't think he was going to pass away. Then 2019 comes. It was after Christmas of 2018, right before 2019. He takes a sudden turn and passes away. It was a week after he turned 37. I won't get into all the details about him passing away, but it was extremely traumatic. I had my 4 little kids, and he was like a stay-home dad. He was like hands-on stay-home dad because we ran Me Adora, our company, together, so we could be home together as a family. So he was, stay-home dad, and so all of a sudden the kids went from, having mom and dad around to all of a sudden dad's not there anymore. So it was horrible, you guys, like absolutely horrible. I remember like literally the week he passed away, we were like planning his funeral, and I can talk about this now because I've done lots of healing, but like having to pick out like his tombstone and still having to run the company because like we had this company, like we do thousands of orders every month, right? So we have customers, and like mostly in the US, some in Canada, but mostly in the US, some international. And you have inventory, you have employees. I have employees, and it was just so much responsibility that like all of a sudden it was just like it felt like overnight, all of a sudden he's gone. Here, Natasha, you have to run the company. And you have these 4 kids that are completely traumatized. Like I was traumatized, they were traumatized, everyone's traumatized, like all of our friends and family are traumatized. Like it was horrible. But I had to like still function and run our company, Me Adora, right? And thankfully I have a really good team. They were really resilient, and they were mourning too, but they knew I needed to like get my head on straight. So they were, running everything while we, I could like kind of get it together. Like I literally felt like I was hit by a Mack truck. Like you don't even know you're up from down. You're just like pure survival mode in that moment. Like I was already in survival mode up to that point because I was just trying to take care of him and everything. But then after he died, it was like even more survival mode. So then, I'm like trying to figure out what to do with myself because I wasn't even expecting it, which is kind of weird to think because, somebody has cancer, but we never really let our minds go there of like him not being here anymore. So then I was like, what am I going to do? Right? But then I remember thinking, my kids have just lost their dad. They cannot lose their mom too. Because I knew so many stories, and I know you guys know people, or maybe you're in this position even, where, people have gone through a loss, a major loss, but they they become like immobilized from it, right? Like they become so depressed, they can't even function anymore, right? Like there's no point to living, or they're just so down. And I'm like, I didn't want to be that person. Like, no shame against those people at all, but I didn't want to become that person because I didn't want my kids to have to suffer even more. That was my main reason. I didn't want my team to have to suffer more, because my team, a lot of them are refugees. So a lot of them are from Venezuela, and they've had to leave their country. They live in Argentina now, and they're refugees. So there's a lot of people relying on me, you know? And I remember my mom saying, you know, Tash, just go back to nursing. Like, sell your company, sell me Adora, and just go back into nursing. That's a good career. And I was like, no, I'm not giving up on my baby. Like, me Adora, my brand, is like my 5th child. You know, it's like you poured your heart into it, and like you don't want to do that. And I didn't want to do it because you know, we still had these like dreams I didn't want to give up on. And I was like, I need to show other women that have been through a loss, other people too, but especially moms, that they can like come back from anything and turn things around. I have such a strong faith in God. So like that in itself is, I know for a fact, what kept me going is like putting purpose into it. Which brings me to my first point. If you've gone through something, or you're going through something right now, something traumatic or a loss, or like you've just taken a big L, it's the story that you attach to it that will help you either go forward or it will keep you stuck. And we all know people that have stayed stuck, right? So in that situation, I could have been like, why me? This is not fair. He was an amazing husband and dad. Now I'm a widow. I was 33. Now I'm a widowed mom at 33 with 4 kids. Like, he didn't even drink or smoke. Like, this is not fair. You know, I could have done that and like just said, like, given up on life. But yeah, like a lot of people go through emotions like that, right? I didn't understand, like, you know, people like, you know, mad at God and stuff. I wasn't mad at God, but I didn't understand, you know, and I kind of was okay with being in that place where like, I just don't understand. Like, this just doesn't make sense. But I'm not going to figure it out because I know I can't right now. So then one of the first things I did was, because I wasn't going to give up, I was going to keep going with me Adora. I had not run the company in 2 years, so I knew nothing about it, which that in itself was so intimidating for me, because it's like jumping into it. Imagine like if you're married or something, you have to go do your spouse's job all of a sudden. It's so intimidating, right? That's how I felt. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do my part and let God do his part, okay? Because I need some supernatural intervention right now. So anyway, one of the first things I really worked on was getting my emotions in a good place. Because I'm like, if I can't get myself out of bed, this isn't going to work. My kids are going to suffer. My company's going to suffer. Everyone's going to suffer right now. So I did a lot of, I just started doing a lot of inner work back then. Like, how do you change your emotions in the moment? How do you start feeling better? How do you create a new vision? So a lot of the stuff that I teach now on social media as a coach is the stuff that I had to teach myself first. Right? Because I know what that feels like when you're feeling so down, you don't even want to get out of bed, right? Or you're just like crying nonstop, or you're just feeling so overwhelmed. So I had to learn how to get my emotions in check. So I learned how to do like mindset work. I learned how to have like a really good morning routine. I learned how to have a really clear vision, like a new vision, something I always talk about too, right? And here's the other thing is, you don't need to know all the steps. You have to be okay with not knowing the whole picture, or like the next step. You just have to focus on today. Like, what can you do today? And that's what I did. I was just like, okay, I just need to feel good today. And I know I'm not always gonna feel like this, because you feel horrible, right? But I know I'm not gonna always feel like this. Let me just focus on today. One of the biggest things that helped me in that moment was I practiced gratitude. So I got really good at flipping my emotions in the moment. So, and I talk a lot about this on social media with my girls. It's like, if you're ever feeling really overwhelmed or like really down, it's easy to fall into like, you know, the pity, like the self-pity, the victim, why me mentality, but that's not going to help you, right? So in those moments, I would stop myself and I'd start practicing gratitude. So I'd gratitude journal. So I would just like write out any little thing I was thankful for, anything I was thankful for. Because what that does psychologically is it changes your focus. And when you change your focus, it changes your feelings. And when you change your feelings, you change your energy. And that's what changes what shows up around you. Okay? So that's how I kept going. I literally was just practicing gratitude every single day. And then we went into a global pandemic. So So I'm like getting it together. You know, I'm trying to do the best I can with our company and my kids and all this stuff. And all of a sudden we're in a global pandemic and I wanted to like run away from my life. I wanted to move. I wanted to do all this stuff. And I felt like God was like, no, you're just staying right here and you're going to heal. So that's what I did. I was just focusing on healing. Okay. So anyway, we're in a global pandemic. I'm forced to heal. I'm stuck at home like everyone else. Okay. I'm thinking to myself, what happens if we can't ship our products anymore? Right? Because we sell like thousands of products every month with Adora, like makeup products, mostly in the US. So I'm thinking that, I'm thinking, what the heck am I gonna do? And then I could see that more people are gonna be online. And I knew, and I could already start seeing, like a lot of people are gonna be really depressed because, you know, it's a global pandemic. A lot of people have never been in this situation before, but I at that point had spent time, you know, learning how to manage my emotions and like creating new vision and all that stuff, right? So I knew how to function under that chaos and pressure where I could tell that most people hadn't dealt with that. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go online and start sharing my story. So I had never done social media before, you guys, ever. My team had to teach me how to use Instagram. They had been managing Instagram up to this point. You know, like posting photos and memes. You know, on Instagram back in the day, you could do stuff like that. And then they were teaching me how to post stories. And I was like, what's a story? And they were bugging me there for so long. They're like, Natasha, you gotta post stories. I was like, what stories? And they're like, you know, like videotape what you're doing during the day. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, who wants to watch it? Who wants to see what I'm eating during the day? And so, but I started doing it. I learned how to do it. And one of my girlfriends, one of my really good friends, she taught me how to use TikTok. And because she was posting TikToks. And yeah, so literally, this is 2020, you guys. This is not that long ago. And I was like, okay. And so at first I was like kind of just fooling around with it. And you were thriving in postpartum. Yeah. So I was just fooling around with it. And then I was like sharing our makeup videos and stuff like that. And it was doing pretty good. And then one day I came on TikTok and I was like, by the way, I've had 4 kids. And I started talking about waist training and like some of my eating tips and weight loss tips. And like it went viral overnight. And all of a sudden, like all these moms were like, how did you lose weight? How do you waist train? How do you do all this? And up to that point also, I had been doing, just for myself, I'd been doing a lot of research around natural remedies and herbs to help with depression and to help with energy and focus, because I didn't want to be depressed, and I needed help with like my mood and energy. So I was doing a lot of research around that. So then I discovered adaptogens. So you guys always hear me talking about adaptogens, right? So adaptogens are just like herbs that help your body adapt to stress at a hormonal level. And there was so much research on it. So because I have a nursing background, I'm all evidence-based. So no matter what I see or hear on the internet, I always try to go find the research behind it. So I had been, I started doing this even when my husband was sick. I started researching adaptogens. And I started taking them because they helped me feel so much better. And then after he passed away, I started taking more adaptogens. And nobody had heard of them. Like ashwagandha, maca, rhodiola. I was taking those every day. Like ashwagandha, maca, rhodiola were like my go-to. Lion's mane is a nootropic, helps with mental focus. There's so much research behind this stuff now. So an interesting thing happened. As I was taking these herbs, and I stopped being vegan, by the way, because I was so anemic. My doctor's like, you need to eat meat. Like I was scrawny, you guys. I was emaciated. My hair was thin and falling out. My nails were breaking all of the time. I looked old. And worn down. I had a hernia. You guys have heard me talk about that. I had a hernia. I finally went to my doctor. I had a hernia for 2 years and I left it alone. And then I went to my doctor and she's like, you need to get that surgically repaired. I was like, no. So, but I couldn't get it surgically repaired until I got my iron back up. So I had to go and get my iron back up. I started eating meat, got my iron levels back up. Then I went for surgery, and then the doctor sewed my abs back together and like fixed my hernia. So this is like all happening during the pandemic, you guys. And then I'm on social media, sharing my story. I look back at this and I'm like, wow, girl, you've been through a lot. But this is why I come on social media, is because I'm like, so many people are feeling so stuck and frustrated and lost. And then you hear my story and you're like, okay, life's not so bad, right? If this, girl can do it, I can do it too, which is so true. You need to write a book. I know, totally. So anyway, where was I? Okay, so hormones, adaptogens. So I'm taking adaptogens. I'm feeling amazing. Like, I wasn't even taking it for weight loss or anything. I wasn't even thinking about metabolism. I just wanted to feel better emotionally. But this cool thing happened. Like, I could focus better. My energy improved. increases your libido. Not that I was focusing on that at that time, but it was a side effect. And I noticed that my metabolism was improving. Like I didn't have, like I wasn't putting on like belly fat and weight like I would have before. And my cravings went down, like my emotional eating, junk food eating went down. My acne cleared up for the first time in my entire life. I was like since I was 14 years old, I've had adult acne, okay? So I was noticing all these side effects. And I was like, every woman needs to know about adaptogens. So then I'm lying in bed, global pandemic once again. And at this point we're just selling makeup products and they were doing very, very well. Like we have a best-selling mascara on Amazon and eyeliner and all this stuff. And I'm like, but I want to come up with adaptogens for women. I want to come up with adaptogens for women, but I want it like in a really simple way where they can just put drops in their coffee or tea in the morning, like what I do. Not like I didn't want to have to do like all this fancy packaging and all this stuff. Like I just wanted it really simple. A lot of people like different things to drink in the morning. Some people like coffee, some people like tea, some people just drink water. I wanted something simple. So then I felt like it was like a divine idea, to be honest with you, because like I had this idea in my head. I'm like, this is what I want. And I like found it like that day. I found a manufacturer I could work with to come up with, and it had the exact ingredients that I wanted. Anyway, so that's how I came up with the Adora fat burner energy drops. So they're literally adaptogens, a whole bunch of adaptogens in drop form. So you can put it in, hold on. This is like, it's completely empty. It's completely empty, and I'm like all out of stock in Canada right now. So anyway, so you just put your drops in here. That's what I'm drinking right now with chlorophyll, and then drink it. So, and there's like there's no caffeine in it. There's no fillers in it. There's no sugar in it. So it was, I love the adaptogens. Yes, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, thanks, girl. Thank you, Hope. I love it. So anyway, so that's how it started. And then came out with ashwagandha, because ashwagandha was another one that really helps with stress, overwhelm, energy. They're also really good for the immune system too. So that's how I pivoted into adaptogens. Oh, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go back to school and become certified in this, right? Because I'm all about the certifications. I have my Bachelor of Nursing degree, I was an RN. And so I wanted to make it very legitimate with the hormones and the coaching. And I was naturally going into that direction because I was so passionate about it. And I could see just coming on social media, I wasn't planning on doing this, but me just sharing my story and like just showing up and showing people how I was doing this and how I was feeling better as a mom with 4 kids all by myself. Like it was just inspiring other people. And then so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to school and become a coach. So I became certified in life transformation, nutrition, and hormone coaching. And yeah, so that's how things have like completely pivoted. And then I grew a social media following. I think I've like, on TikTok, I have like 166,000 followers on TikTok that I just grew during COVID. And then like between Pinterest and Instagram and YouTube, that's another over 300,000 followers on there as well. So grew this big social media community. And so yeah, now I get to like, I mean, obviously it's still been a process, right? Of healing, of learning, there's days, where I would be crying because I'm like, you're tired or you're struggling with something, right? But like, I never ever gave myself a way out, which is what I wanted to share with you guys. I never gave myself a way out, okay? So trust me, I came up against a lot of struggles. And every single time I really learned how to surrender those struggles to God. And then I learned how to reach out for help from skilled people. Okay, so people that I needed to learn from that were specialized in a certain area, I would search them out. That's the other thing. But I would never give myself, like quitting was never an option for me, ever. And what became probably the most important, and I talk about this all of the time on social media, especially on my Instagram stories, is you gotta fuel up yourself first. Because if you're not connected, if you're not refueled, you will give up, you will burn out. Because you're just giving. And that's what I had done before when my husband was sick. And I looked just as sick as him, right? But then after he passed away and I started taking care of myself and I had this new vision for my life, that's when everything changed. And I was just like, the life I'm living now is, I just want to be me. I just want to be me. I know that there's a certain group of people, I don't have to appeal to everybody, but there is a certain group of people out there that connect with me, that connect to my story, that want the help that I'm able to offer because I have the experience, I have the results, and I have the certification, I have the products. So I'm just going to focus on that. And the cool thing is, the more I was just showing up, just being me, and like not having to figure everything out, not having to control everything, the more things would just come together. Because it was just like so genuine, it was so authentic. I'm just being me, and people can feel that and they love it, and I love it. So it's like win-win. Cougar alert is so true. So Stacey's asking, what do you do when you've had post-traumatic stress? You have post-traumatic stress, you have weight gain. Weight gain, by the way, is just a symptom. That's all it is. Weight gain is just a symptom of other things that are going on in you, okay? Loss of motivation, and she's saying discipline is everything. Discipline is part of it, but that's not everything. This is where I would start if I were you. This is where I started too, girl. Have a new vision for your life. You need to have a new vision for your life. Now, if you have post-traumatic stress and you need professional help, get professional help, okay? There's nothing wrong with that at all. If you need coaching, get coaching. But regardless, taking accountability. So here's the thing, we can't control what's happened to us, but healing is our responsibility, okay? Healing is your responsibility, just like healing was my responsibility. So in that moment, I did have a coach actually, by the way. I did hire a life coach to help me work through some of that stuff, created a new vision for my life, and then started working through those things. Create a new vision for yourself. How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? Literally go download, you guys listen, go download the app, Higher Vision app. It's free. You can upload photos on there. You need something new to focus on. That's the thing. When you've gone through something, post-traumatic is like those memories, triggers are just like going on in your head over and over and over and over again, right? And it's almost like you can't get out of that. So you need something new to focus on. That's the first thing, okay? So paint a new picture. That's what I did. I painted a new picture. How do I want to look? How do I want to feel? So go and put pictures on there. And then the next thing is start looking and working through limiting beliefs. Okay, so things like a lot of times people can't lose weight because they don't think that they're worthy enough to lose weight, or they don't think it's possible. So you gotta like look at those things too. Is it even possible, right? That basically what I'm trying to say is the mindset work is the most important. The inner work is the most important thing that you can do. Okay, that's the first thing. Then the second thing is like practically speaking. Hormones, what you're eating, huge. So I have so many simple tips on my social media that you can start following. Or you can click my bio up there. I got a free ebook, 27 tips for weight loss for busy women. Start practicing them. You're not going to get it all perfect. That's the thing. You're not going to get it all perfect, but start working through things that you can. Make it fun and easy for yourself. Make it right. I hope, is somebody taking notes? I forgot to tell you guys to take notes. Is anyone taking notes? I hope so. Stacey, I hope you're taking notes. Okay? Write this down. You have to make it fun and easy, especially if you've gone through trauma or you're dealing with depression, overwhelm. The last thing you need is something that's going to stress you out. You need to make things fun for yourself and easy as possible, okay? And then you baby step your way to the harder things, okay? So what I did is I was working out. I really focused on what I was eating. I was having my adaptogens, you guys, because that really helps with your mood a lot. Have my adaptogens every single day, really focused on what I was eating, made it really fun for myself, intermittent fasting, like the really simple things that make a big difference, okay? I went back to the gym. This is before I got a trainer. So I went back to the gym and I was just doing like Pilates type stuff with like friends, right? And then what I did was, because as you get stronger, then you can start pushing yourself more, right? So then I kind of went to that next level and I got a fitness trainer. And you guys know about Dennis, right? So I got a fitness trainer, and so he pushed me to that next level. And then that's kind of how you get out of that. It's like baby steps that align with this new vision, okay? But the most important thing is your energy. That's why you got to do the inner work every single day. And that's why you got to really pay attention to what you're eating. And eating is not just food and drink. It's what you're watching and what you're listening to. So if you're filling your head and your mind with drama, with negative toxic people, with toxic shows, toxic social media, just toxic old thoughts, it's going to keep you stuck. One of the simplest things you can do is start cutting away all that toxicity, all that negativity, and give yourself something new to focus on. And Stacey, I promise you, girl, like as you're practicing this, hopefully I can put this video on YouTube for you. You can go back and rewatch it. But as you start to feed yourself with things that are encouraging you, that are inspiring you, that are in alignment with where you want to go, maybe you want to start a business in addition, or whatever it is that you're wanting to go after, and you're feeding yourself that every single day, and you're aligning new habits every single day, and you're not beating yourself up when you make a mistake and when you're not perfect, because you're not going to get it perfect. Okay, you're celebrating your wins, you're appreciating the process, you're appreciating the moment. Eventually what happens is beautiful things happen and you completely transform. Your life completely transforms, you completely transform, and it's amazing. Fat loss, you guys, is what you're eating and your hormones. Like, you can never outwork a bad diet. That is number one, okay? Here's the other thing though. You will never outperform the person you see yourself as in your head. So you could be eating right, you could be having the best trainer and the best weight loss program, fitness program, but if you don't see yourself as the person, like you only see yourself as the old person, you're not seeing yourself as this new version of you in your mind first, you'll never be able to become that person. Okay, what you guys see right now, I saw this in my mind 2 years ago. This is how it wasn't like exact, but it was pretty much and I did not look like this. Like, you guys got to go look at my transformation videos, okay? But you have to see it in your head first. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. That's why it's like, learn how to enjoy the process, because it's not going to happen overnight. Same with business, okay? For like the aspiring influencers and coaches and business owners, it's not going to happen overnight. But I have to say this, okay? I have to say this to you guys. The people that are on social media, you want to grow a community, or you're an influencer, or you're a coach, or you have a business or whatever, even if you're not like that, even if you're a stay-home mom and you don't talk to anybody but your family, when you transform and you do your inner work, everything around you changes. How people react to you and respond to you will change. But if you don't love you, I know it sounds so cheesy, you guys, but it's so true. Like, me telling myself this 2 years ago, I would be like, whatever, Natasha. So like, if that's you, that's fine. You're not there yet. But for everyone else, people treat you how you treat you. And it's a subconscious, energetic thing, okay? But if you are rejecting yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you won't take time to do your hair, your makeup, work on your body, like for health, get dressed, if you won't even give yourself that kind of love and self-care, people aren't gonna give you love and self-care. They're not. I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. Test me on this, you guys. Test me on this. Once you start taking care of yourself, you start valuing yourself, and that can mean anything. It's different for everybody, right? I'm not saying just put on makeup and that's it. No, I'm talking about you do what you need to do to make yourself feel good about yourself and love yourself and give yourself that self-care. People will start treating you differently. People will start treating you differently, okay? So here's the bottle. You can't get it on Amazon. You can get my makeup products on Amazon, but my drops you can only get on the website. If you're in Canada, we are working on faster shipping. I apologize in advance, our shipping isn't fast enough yet. In the US, it's way faster. Can you recommend any motivational speeches? You know what? It depends where you are at. It depends where you are at and what you resonate with. Because even for myself, I've really changed. Like what I used to listen to was like Tony Robbins. It was like very masculine coaches. So like the Tony Robbins, who else did I love? Brendon Burchard, Tony Robbins, amazing. Those were my favorite. I'm trying to think who else. It depends, and it depends like what your beliefs are too. Like I liked Eric Thomas, was also really good. Those were like my favorite. Joe Dispenza, Steve Harvey, really good. Joe Dispenza, you guys, is really good. Joe Dispenza is, he talks a lot about the quantum physics side of things. So if you're open to understanding how energy works and manifestation, like we all manifest, whether you believe it or not, all manifestation is like thoughts become reality. And they've already proven this through science. So like now it's understanding how what's going on inside of you can influence your reality. It's also very spiritual, but it's backed by science. So Joe Dispenza, I find, is like really good at describing a lot of that, and he has a lot of the science behind it. So it kind of just depends on who you're into. 100%, yeah. Steve Harvey is really, really good. Who else do you guys like listening to? It really depends on like what struggle I'm going through in the moment. If I'm like if you're like a business, you're starting a business, some of my favorite people are Tom Bilyeu, Lewis Howes. Tom Bilyeu and Lewis Howes, amazing. I love them. I'm trying to think who else. So I listen to stuff all the time and I can't remember who I listen to. If you're dealing with like emotional triggers, one book I really recommend is called Becoming Bulletproof. I can't remember the girl's name, but just type in Becoming Bulletproof. She is like this like secret service agent, and she talks about how to deal with your triggers, your emotional triggers. You know the biggest thing, you guys, let peace be your guide. Okay? You have dreams, you have thoughts inside of you for a reason. They were put there for a reason. So if you're not feeling fulfilled in life, or you're feeling like you're just running on autopilot, or you're burnt out, or you're overwhelmed, that is just a sign, it's just a symptom that you're out of alignment. That's it, right? So take time. Most people won't take the time to get in front of a journal and just like write out their thoughts, write out what they're like, do a brain dump. Instead of holding it all in your head, write it out. Okay, and then go and get mentorship. I would not be where I am today if I did not have coaching and mentorship and take courses. Like I've invested so much in myself. Okay, it doesn't just happen. Okay, it does not just happen. You gotta be feeding yourself every single day. And as soon as you stop doing that, that's when you start feeling like down, overwhelmed, anxious, stuff like that. So next time that happens, just stop, recalibrate, go back to your journal, go listen to some things that help you get refocused, start learning new skills that are in alignment to where you want to go. And the physical work is just as important as the spiritual work, as the mindset work, the emotional work, everything. Don't worry about changing anyone around you. Focus on you first. So nice hanging out with you guys. Make sure you're following here. I live stream every Wednesday, and then on Instagram, I've been posting lots of stories on Instagram. I haven't been doing that many videos lately on TikTok. I'm working on a membership only app right now, so I can put all my courses there for you guys, so I can have all my longer videos. And we've been putting a lot of my team's been helping me put the live streams on YouTube, so you can go check out my YouTube. Why the chlorophyll? Great question. So chlorophyll is just the pigment, the green pigment in plants, and it's, I was actually looking at the research today about it. It's very detoxifying to the blood, very detoxifying. And that's like really the main reason, is that it's just cleansing to the blood. Very, very detoxifying. Yeah. So if you don't feel like you're getting a lot of vegetables in, you might just want, I'm all about the easy, right? So I'll have this, I'll put my vitamin D drops, I'll put my adaptogen drops in there. And I have noticed that it does help with energy and focus for sure. Yeah. Anytime you feed your body with nutrients, your body's going to be happy. You're going to have the energy that you need, the focus that you need. As soon as you start giving your body crap, that's when you start feeling down, depressed, low energy, and you don't have the energy to actually do what you want to be doing, right? Get your workouts in. Yeah, yes, easy for busy mama. Okay, so this was the mindset shift, Stacey. I want to leave you guys with this. This was the huge identity shift I had back in 2019. This, completely overwhelmed stay-home mom, right? Trying to run a company. I was like, I need to treat myself like a high-performing athlete. I have to treat myself like a high-performing athlete, because you mamas are on that level. If you're running a household, you need to treat yourself like a high-performing athlete, okay? So what do high-performing athletes do? They watch what they eat. They stay hydrated. They get their sleep. No worries. They make sure they get their sleep. They watch I'm talking about good athletes, right? They don't just give their time to anyone that wants it. They have healthy boundaries, right? They're taking their supplements. They're getting blood work done. They're getting their workouts in. Treat yourself like a high-performing athlete, okay? I promise you it will change everything, and you will start to look so good, and you'll start to feel so good, okay? And then you'll be more productive in your household, with your business, even if you don't have a business, your household is your business, okay? High-performing athletes do not waste their time on stupid stuff. I don't waste my time on stupid stuff. If you can afford to get a house cleaner, get yourself a house cleaner, okay? Not to say that stupid stuff is necessary, but start outsourcing things that are not worth your time, so you can start focusing on new things, on new skills, or spending time on your marriage, spending time with your kids, spending time on yourself, okay? Before you I know so many women in their 30s, and guys too, that just kind of go off on the deep end because they're so burnt out. Anyway, have a good day. Come follow me on Instagram, and I'll try to get this on YouTube, so make sure you're following on YouTube as well. Okay, I love you guys, and just remember, your life is so, so worth it. So hopefully you took some notes, and you don't have to, implement all of this today, but even some small things, just work on that, okay? And give yourself the grace to grow. You're not gonna get it all overnight, but give yourself the grace to grow, okay? It's always nice to have someone else going along with our journey. So true, so, so, so true. Love this, thank you. You're so welcome. Okay, I love you guys. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go for a walk with my daughter because it's beautiful out right now, and I promised her I'd go for a walk, so we're gonna go do that. I love you guys. Bye, Selena. Bye, Stacy. Love you guys.